Have you ever found yourself trapped in a relationship that feels more like a battle than a bond? Maybe it's a partner, a friend, or even a family member, and you're constantly walking on eggshells, second-guessing yourself or questioning your worth. If that strikes a nerve, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into something deeply personal and profoundly transformative: how Stoic philosophy can help you break free from toxic relationships and reclaim your peace of mind. Picture this: you're no longer playing their games. Their manipulations don't touch you, and their silence? It's not a punishment, it's your freedom calling. Sounds powerful, doesn't it? That's what we're going to explore today. Stoicism isn't just about sitting quietly and enduring life's blows. It's about rising above them with clarity, courage, and unshakable self-respect. In this video, we'll uncover how narcissists wield silence and manipulation as weapons, and how you can disarm them by mastering your mind. We'll draw wisdom from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, showing you how their timeless teachings can transform your struggles into moments of liberation. So, let's get real. This isn't just philosophy. This is about taking back your power, finding your voice, and thriving. Not despite the challenges, but because of them. And if that resonates with you, don't just sit back. Hit that like button, subscribe to the Stoic Age, and join a community committed to living with strength and clarity. Together, we'll learn not just to endure, but to rise. Now, let's get started on your journey to freedom. 1. Understanding manipulation, the Stoic perspective. Let's get personal for a moment. Have you ever felt like a puppet where someone else seems to control the strings of your emotions? Maybe it's a partner who turns cold without warning, or a friend who guilt trips you into always saying yes. That feeling of being under someone's thumb is exhausting, isn't it? But here's the truth: Stoicism teaches us: no one has power over your mind unless you hand them the keys. Epictetus, a former slave who knew firsthand about power dynamics, put it simply: you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Manipulation thrives on the illusion that someone else controls your peace. Narcissists and manipulators play on our fears and insecurities, weaving webs of confusion to keep us questioning our worth. They'll gaslight us, isolate us, and make us believe that their actions are somehow our fault. But Stoicism offers us a lens to see through this fog. It reminds us that while others may try to provoke or control, our responses are ours alone. Imagine someone hurling insults at you. Marcus Aurelius would liken this to mud being tossed into a stream. Does the water stop flowing? Does it hold on to the mud? No, it washes it away, remaining clear and unaffected. Similarly, the provocations of manipulators, no matter how calculated, lose their power when we choose not to absorb them. Here's a thought experiment. The next time someone tries to manipulate you, pause and ask yourself, what part of this situation is actually within my control? You'll find that their actions and words aren't, but your thoughts, your dignity, and your choices, those are untouchable. Stoicism isn't about apathy or ignoring your feelings. It's about prioritizing where you spend your emotional energy. Instead of fighting to change a manipulative person, a battle you can't win, direct that energy inward. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. Take control of your narrative. No matter how loud or cunning the manipulator, their power crumbles the moment you stop playing their game. By understanding manipulation through the Stoic lens, you're not just breaking free, you're reclaiming your peace. One choice at a time. So here's my challenge for you. The next time someone tries to rattle your inner calm, smile quietly to yourself and remember that their chaos has no place in your mind unless you allow it. How's that for power? 2. Recognizing narcissistic tactics. Let's get real. Manipulators don't just come out and say, "Hey, I'm trying to control you." No, they're far more subtle, almost like a magician performing sleight of hand. Before you know it, they've pulled you into their orbit, leaving you questioning your own reality. Narcissists, in particular, are experts in this. They deploy a toolbox of psychological tricks designed to keep you guessing, doubting, and ultimately bending to their will. But once you recognize their tactics for what they are, you can start dismantling their power. One classic move: the silent treatment. If you've ever experienced this, you know how disorienting it can feel. One moment, they're all over you, texting, calling, seeking your attention. The next, radio silence. No explanation, no warning. You're left spiraling, wondering what you did wrong. But here's the thing. Their silence isn't an accident. It's a calculated move meant to make you chase after them, seeking validation. Marcus Aurelius' wisdom is a lifeline here. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Instead of falling into the trap of self-blame, recognize their silence for what it is, a game. They're banking on your discomfort to pull you back into their control. But the moment you stop playing, the spell breaks. It's not easy. I get that. The silence can feel like a void. But as a Stoic, you can reframe this moment as an opportunity to sit with your discomfort and grow stronger in your independence. Another favorite tactic? Hoovering. It's named after the vacuum cleaner for a reason. They're trying to suck you back in. When they sense they're losing their grip, they'll suddenly transform into the person you thought they were in the beginning. Kind, attentive, even charming. They'll say things like, "I miss the way we used to be," or "I've changed, I swear." It's a masterclass in manipulation, preying on your hope for better days. But let me be blunt, it's all an act. As Epictetus reminds us, if someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation. Recognize the pattern. Their sudden affection isn't about you. It's about regaining control. It's tempting to believe their words, especially when they hit you with sweet memories and promises. But here's a question worth asking. If they really cared, why did they need to lose me to act right? That clarity is your shield. The truth is, these tactics aren't signs of their strength. They're signs of their fragility. They rely on manipulation because they lack the courage to confront their own flaws. And that's not your burden to carry. By identifying their strategies, you take the first step toward reclaiming your peace. So here's my advice, friend. The next time someone pulls these tricks, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that their games only work if you engage. Instead, walk away with your head high, because freedom, as Epictetus said, is the ultimate prize. 3. The power of emotional detachment. Let me ask you something. How often do you let other people's words or actions dictate your mood? Be honest. We've all been there. Someone lashes out or criticizes us, and suddenly our day feels ruined. It's like we've handed over the keys to our peace of mind. But here's where Stoicism steps in like a wise, steady friend. It teaches us the art of emotional detachment, the ability to step back and say, "This is not mine to carry." Now, don't get me wrong. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or become a robot. It's about recognizing what's yours to control and letting go of the rest. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully. You don't need to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. Think of it like this. Emotions are like waves, and life is the ocean. You can't stop the waves from coming, but you can learn how to surf. The manipulator's goal is to drown you in those waves, make you feel like you're powerless against their current. But with practice, you can rise above the chaos. Here's a personal example. I once had someone close to me who loved to criticize. It felt like they had a knack for finding my insecurities and poking at them just enough to make me second-guess myself. At first, I'd spiral into self-doubt, trying to defend myself or prove them wrong. But then I started to apply Stoicism. I'd ask myself, what part of this is within my control? The answer was always the same, my response. Their words, not mine. Their judgment, still not mine. Once I understood this, their power over me evaporated. I stopped reacting. And you know what happened? Their criticism didn't stop, but my peace was no longer tied to it. It was liberating. Stoicism also teaches us to focus on what's truly important. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that so much of what we worry about is trivial. Do not waste the remaining part of your life worrying about others, unless their actions concern the common good. It will keep you from doing anything useful. Think about that. How much mental energy do we waste on things we can't change? The manipulator's silence, their gaslighting, their attempts to pull you back in, it's all noise. And noise can't harm you unless you let it drown out your inner voice. So how do you start practicing emotional detachment? First, pause. When you feel triggered, take a moment to breathe and assess. What's really happening here? Second, reframe. Instead of asking, why are they doing this to me? Try, what can I learn from this? Pain can be a great teacher when we stop resisting it. Finally, choose. Decide not to react impulsively. Remember, your power lies in your response. It's not easy. Trust me, I know. But the more you practice, the stronger you become. Detachment isn't about shutting out the world. It's about mastering your mind so the world can't shake you. As Epictetus wisely said, circumstances don't rise to meet your expectations. They fall to the level of your training. Train yourself to detach from what doesn't serve you. Train yourself to let go of the need for approval, control, or closure. And most importantly, train yourself to find peace in your own heart, no matter what storms rage around you. That, my friend, is true strength. For building resilience through virtue. Here's the thing about tough times. They either break you or build you, and the choice is entirely yours. Stoicism argues that resilience, the ability to bounce back stronger, isn't some magical quality you're born with. It's a skill you cultivate, and the foundation of that skill is virtue. Virtue, in Stoic terms, means living with courage, wisdom, self-discipline, and justice. These aren't just lofty ideals. They're tools to help you face life's challenges head-on. Let's get personal for a second. There was a time in my life when everything felt like it was falling apart. A betrayal from someone I trusted left me questioning my worth and ability to move forward. I was tempted to lash out, to wallow in anger and self-pity. But then I stumbled upon a quote from Seneca. "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." At first, it felt like a cliché. How could this pain possibly make me stronger? But as I reflected, I realized that every moment of adversity was a chance to practice resilience. It wasn't about the situation itself. It was about who I chose to become in response to it. Courage became my starting point. Instead of running from the pain or trying to numb it, I faced it. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the importance of acting in alignment with nature. He believed that just as the body is made to endure physical challenges, the soul is built to withstand emotional trials. So I reminded myself, if this situation is in front of me, I'm equipped to handle it. Then came wisdom. This was about asking myself the tough questions. What can I learn from this? What did this experience reveal about the person I want to be? Reflecting deeply helped me see the situation not as a punishment, but as a lesson. It also gave me clarity about what was in my control, my actions, my choices, and what wasn't, like the past or someone else's behavior. Self-discipline was next. I made a commitment to stop dwelling on what I couldn't change. Every time I felt the urge to replay the betrayal in my mind, I'd redirect my focus. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Finally, justice. This wasn't about revenge or fairness in the way the world defines it. Justice, to the Stoics, is about treating others and yourself with integrity. I decided to let go of resentment, not for the other person's sake, but for mine. Carrying that weight wasn't hurting them, it was poisoning me. Here's the lesson. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain, it's about transforming it. Each time life knocks you down, you have a choice. Will you let it define you, or will you use it to refine you? Virtue gives you the blueprint. Courage to face the challenge, wisdom to learn from it, self-discipline to focus on what matters, and justice to stay true to your principles. So let me ask you, the next time you face hardship, how will you respond? Will you crumble, or will you rise? Remember, as Seneca said, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. Choose to rise, choose resilience, and watch how every challenge, no matter how painful, becomes a stepping stone to the person you were meant to be. 5. Freedom as the ultimate goal. Let's pause for a moment and think about this. What does freedom mean to you? Is it the absence of obligations, the ability to live life on your own terms, or perhaps simply the feeling of peace? For the Stoics, freedom isn't just a nice to have, it's the ultimate goal of life. But here's the twist. It's not freedom from responsibility or hardship. It's freedom from being ruled by anything outside yourself. Epictetus said it best. "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself has the power to break my freedom of choice." For years, I misunderstood freedom. I thought it meant eliminating stress, avoiding conflicts, or being able to say no without consequence. But as life piled on its challenges, heartbreak, difficult people, unexpected losses, I realized true freedom isn't about escaping life's storms. It's about staying unshaken in the middle of them. Take this example from my own life. I once worked with someone who loved to micromanage. They'd second-guess everything I did, criticize without offering solutions, and make me feel like I could never get it right. It was maddening. I'd go home replaying every interaction in my head, trying to figure out how I could fix the situation. But nothing worked because I was looking for freedom in the wrong place, in their approval. That's when I turned to Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius offered a wake-up call. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. I started to shift my focus inward. Instead of asking, how can I make them like me? I asked, what kind of person do I want to be in this situation? That question changed everything. It freed me from the need for validation and reminded me that I could control only my actions, not their reactions. Here's what I learned. Freedom comes from understanding the difference between what's yours to own and what isn't. Your thoughts? Yours. Your values? Yours. Other people's opinions? Not yours. This might sound simple, but it's revolutionary. Once you stop trying to control things beyond your reach, you realize how much energy you were wasting. That's energy you can now use to build a life rooted in your own principles. Stoicism teaches us that freedom is also about embracing responsibility. That's the paradox. We gain freedom not by avoiding challenges, but by taking full ownership of how we respond to them. When someone wrongs you, your freedom lies in choosing forgiveness over bitterness. When life throws obstacles your way, your freedom lies in seeing them as opportunities for growth rather than reasons to give up. Epictetus reminds us, no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom isn't something the world gives you, it's something you cultivate within. It's the courage to stand firm in your values, the wisdom to discern what matters, and the discipline to act accordingly, even when it's hard. So let me ask you, what's holding you back from true freedom? Is it a person, a fear, or maybe an old story you keep telling yourself? Whatever it is, remember that the power to break free is already within you. As Marcus Aurelius put it, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Freedom isn't a far-off dream. It's a choice you make every day, in every moment, with every decision. And the best part? No one, not even Zeus himself, can take it away from you. As we reach the end of this journey together, let's take a moment to reflect. Life, as chaotic and unpredictable as it often feels, is full of moments where we must decide who we are and what truly matters. It's easy to get lost in the noise, other people's opinions, manipulative relationships, fears of failure. But Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, reminds us of a profound truth. The chaos outside doesn't define you. Your inner world does. The path to freedom isn't about perfect circumstances or the absence of challenges. It's about building the strength to stand firm no matter what storms rage around you. It's about reclaiming your mind, your peace, and your power. Epictetus said, first, tell yourself what kind of person you want to be, then act accordingly. Think about that. What kind of person do you want to be? Someone who reacts impulsively to every slight, or someone who meets adversity with calm and grace? Someone who lives at the mercy of others' behavior, or someone who holds steady in their own values? The choice is always yours, even when it doesn't feel that way. And let's be honest, this isn't easy work. Facing manipulation, emotional pain, and life's unpredictability takes courage. It's uncomfortable to sit with the silence of a narcissist's games or to resist the lure of old habits. But every time you choose to respond with clarity instead of chaos, you're taking a step closer to freedom. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't just a quote to admire, it's a way of life. It's a reminder that no matter what happens, whether someone tries to manipulate you, circumstances turn against you, or the world feels like it's falling apart, you always have control over your inner state. That's where true freedom lies. As you move forward, carry these thoughts with you. Your peace is yours to protect. No one else can take it from you unless you allow it. Your growth is in your hands. Every challenge, no matter how painful, is an invitation to become stronger and wiser. Your freedom is your birthright. It's not something others grant you. It's something you claim by mastering your responses. So I'll leave you with this. Life will test you. People will challenge you. Circumstances will push you to your limits, but each of these moments is an opportunity to practice courage, wisdom, and resilience. Embrace them, use them, and let them shape you into the person you want to be. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The path to freedom is not easy, but it's worth every step. It's a journey of self-discovery, of choosing clarity over chaos, and of building a life rooted in your own values. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Take this wisdom with you, not as a weight, but as a light to guide you. The strength you need is already within you. You're braver, wiser, and more resilient than you realize. So go forward boldly and live with the freedom and peace that only you can create.